In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to paint Ork Skin in a variety of different tones for Warhammer 40,000. We'll talk about all the ideas and techniques you'll need to paint 4 different approaches that are all quick, easy to follow and work really nicely across an entire collection, and you can even mix and match if you want to. Don't worry though, because I'll walk you through painting your Ork Skin in a really approachable step-by-step way that's easy to follow along with, so by the end of this tutorial you'll have the knowledge and confidence to get your own Orks fully painted. And if you stick around until the end, I'll show you how to make your Ork Skin even more interesting. My name's Michael and welcome to TableTopReady. In today's tutorial it's going to be all about painting Ork Skin. So I'm going to be showing you a variety of different ways we can approach painting Ork Skin that's going to be easy for anyone to follow along with. And so you know, all the paints and brushes I use will be shown on the screen as I use them, and they'll also be listed in the description along with links to my favourite hobby tools and equipment you see me using. And before we get started, we'll first have to get our Ork boys ready for painting, which involves building them and getting them undercoated. And because you're likely to be painting lots of Ork boys, I do recommend fully assembling them first to keep things nice and simple. For the undercoat you can follow along using whichever colour you prefer, but I'll be demonstrating the different approaches with the undercoats that I think work best for achieving the different skin tones. If you want to learn more about getting your miniatures ready for painting, I do have a dedicated video on the channel that covers sub-assemblies and undercoating your miniatures in depth, so make sure to go check that out. So when you're ready and have your Ork boys built and undercoated, we can get started. We're starting the tutorial choosing what colour we want our skin, as well as learning some of the basics of painting. I do recommend painting any teeth and the inside of the mouth first, but we'll cover that later in the tutorial. So let's start with deciding what tone of green we want our Ork Skin to be, and for me I really like a nice vibrant shade green. Let's first use Ork Flesh as an example and look at how we can get best results when painting so we achieve a nice solid colour. So whenever we're painting we do want to thin our paints, and I find an equal amount of water does the trick. I also like to remove excess paint from the brush on some paper towel first, which helps give us more control when painting. Then when you're ready to start painting, we want to keep our brush moving and avoid going over any areas we've already painted to prevent creating any unwanted texture whilst the paint is still drying. Once the first layer is done, because we've thinned our paint, it won't have covered very well, so we'll need to repeat the process and paint another layer. This lets us build up to a solid colour without losing any details. And I do have a dedicated video on the channel that talks about the importance of thinning our paints, so if you want to learn more about why we do it and how it can improve your painting, make sure to go check that out as well. The first step of creating a nice solid base colour is really important because of everything we do after this built on it. And if we start with a rough and patchy finish, it's going to be really noticeable and distract from all the work we put in later. Of course, we don't just have to use Ork Flesh. I also like to use Death Guard Green, which gives us a much more desaturated, muted skin tone, or my own favourite recipe, which is a mix of 2 parts Death Guard Green to 1 part Flash Gits Yellow. This creates a much brighter, more vibrant green, and this is the recipe I use for my own collection. If you're a fan of contrast paints, I like to use Gut Ripper Flesh, and when using a contrast paint, make sure to load your brush and work it evenly across the skin, encouraging it into all those recesses, but make sure to look out for any excessive pooling that might dry unevenly. And if you do notice any areas where it's started to collect, just use your brush to remove the excess. When you're happy you have an even coverage, just let the contrast do its thing and let it dry without messing with it to get the best result. And if you want a stronger colour, we can apply a second layer just like I'm doing here. Once that's fully dry, we have 4 different examples of base colours you can use for your Ork Skin. Of course these are just a starting point, so don't be afraid to experiment and find a colour that suits your own collection. And now we can move on to bringing out all those muscles and finer details. In this section, let's look at how we can bring out all those details so we can better see all those muscles. We've chosen our skin tone, but our boys are looking flat, so let's see how we can bring out all the different details. The best and most straightforward method is using a shade, and here I'm using Beltane Green because this will flow into all those recesses and details, creating definition, and it's why we want to achieve a nice smooth solid colour to start with. And when using any kind of shade, we want to thoroughly shake the pot first, then use enough to cover our details comfortably, but not so much that it pulls up in areas we don't want it to. And if you do see any pooling, just use your brush to pull away the excess. It's also important to keep an eye on it as it dries because shades can continue to collect in unwanted spots. Once the shade is fully dry, hopefully you can see how it's helped bring out all those details. Of course, we don't have to stick with Beltane green, we can also use Colia green shade for a cooler, darker finish, or Athonian Camo shade for a more natural, earthy tone. By mixing and matching these with our different base colours, we can create an even wider variety of Ork skin tones. For me, one of the best things about collecting Orks is the variety they give us, so don't be afraid to experiment and try out different combinations, because there really isn't a right or wrong approach, and I don't think I've ever seen two Ork armies look the same anyway. We do need to be aware that shades will darken the base colour we apply them over, so if you're aiming for a more vibrant skin tone, we can lay back up with our original base colours, making sure to leave the shadows we've just created shown in the recesses. Something else all of our Ork skin tones will benefit from are some highlights. These help draw our attention to raised edges, muscles and important details, making the skin look much cleaner and more defined. For the highlights, I'm going to show you how to line highlight our details, which gives us a much cleaner look. And because we've used so many colours, I suggest just choosing a lighter colour to highlight with. So for example, here I'm using Ogren Camo. And when highlighting, we still want to thin our paint with an equal amount of water, and I also like to remove excess paint on some paper towel first, as this gives us much more control and helps prevent those thick blobby lines. When you're ready, the most important thing to remember is to take your time. We can think of highlighting as simply painting thin lines along edges and details where we want our highlights to be. And we don't have to stick with Ogren Camo either, we could also use Nurgan Green or Cree Khaki. These should give us enough contrast to stand out against the skin tone underneath. Once you've finished highlighting the skin, hopefully you'll see just how much of a difference it makes. Those extra highlights really help define the muscles and finer details. And now we can move on to the final section where I'll show you how to make your Ork skin even more interesting. It's the final section and I want to show you all the things we need to do to get our Ork skin finished and hopefully stand out even more. Let's start with the nails, which are worth painting to create a bit more colour interest across the skin. We'll begin by painting them with Incubi Darkness, before highlighting them with Cablite Green. And if you're feeling confident, you can use the same steps to paint the lower eyelids as well. If you want to get a little more adventurous, we can also introduce some warmth to our skin by applying thin layers of Cadian flesh tone to areas like the lower lip, ears and knuckles. These warmer tones create more visual interest and can be highlighted with Kislev flesh to help them stand out against the surrounding green skin. Never be afraid to try something new, and you might even surprise yourself. And even if it doesn't turn out exactly how you wanted it to, you'll have learned something for the next miniature. And at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than just getting stuck in and painting. As I mentioned at the start, it's best to paint the inside of the mouth and the teeth first. This means we don't have to worry about accidentally getting paint on the skin later. For any tongues, start with Emperor's Children for the base colour, and then all we need to do is highlight the tip of the tongue with Fulgrim Pink. And now for the important bit, the teeth. And for these, start with Wraithbone, making sure to get a solid colour. The next thing to do is create our definition so we can clearly see all those details, so let's apply some skeleton horde contrast. Once that's dry, to highlight the teeth we can use our Wraithbone again, picking out all those edges and points. Finally, the last thing we need to make sure to do is paint the eyes to bring our Orks to life, and for this we're going to start with Mephiston Red. Finishing up the eyes with a spot of Squig Orange in the centre of each eye to highlight them is a small thing but really adds a lot of character to our Orks. One of the very first tutorials on the channel was an Ork skin tutorial, so it's been a lot of fun revisiting it now that I've had another 5 years of experience teaching and painting, and hopefully this one's even better, with more techniques, variety and more ideas to help you get your own Ork skin painted. So let's see how they turned out. But before we see the finished miniatures, I want to say a massive thank you to all the amazing people who've made this tutorial possible with their continued support. It really means a lot. Your generosity allows me to get all the paints, brushes and miniatures I need to make these tutorials, so I can continue to help you get better at painting. and I especially want to thank everyone who has recently become a supporter or has donated to the channel. Thank you so much. If you enjoy the content here on TabletopReady and feel you get value from it, head over to the TabletopReady website where you can find ways to support the channel and help me create even more content. I also have a newsletter to keep you up to date with new tutorials, masterclasses and what I get up to behind the scenes. And as a thank you for signing up, you'll also receive a free guide packed with tips and advice on how to improve your miniature painting. We've now finished our variety of Ork Skin, and hopefully I've been able to give you the confidence and knowledge to paint your own. I've got plenty of other tutorials on the channel showing you how to improve your painting, and if you want to learn how to paint the biggest and baddest of the orcs, Ghazghkull Thraka, I have a masterclass available through Patreon and YouTube memberships. I really do enjoy making these tutorials and I hope you find them useful. If you do, then please leave a like and let me know in the comments. I always love hearing about your own hobby and what you thought of the video. As well, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future content, and I'll see you in the next video.